and get started. Welcome to Travel with Confidence. I'm Tammy with Singles Travel International and Single Life Today, our new sister site that we launched in August so that we can stay connected with our travelers, because we know that not everybody is able to travel at this time. And we appreciate that with 7.5 billion people in the world, there are 7.5 billion ways to look at this situation that's going on right now. And we respect all of those. So what I'm going to do today is tell you how we're managing. We are doing some vacations for those who are ready. We did a survey back in, I think, August. And I want to tell you that about 25% of the respondents are pretty comfortable with going out and about. But that means that 75% of our members, and I think it's pretty true universally, 75% of the people have some concerns. And on a scale of 1 to 10, we are seeing all numbers. Many of our members are, about 4% said, I'm not going anywhere soon. I'm just going to stay home and, see me on the other side. So what we tried to do was put together a protocol, a policy as a team so that we could accommodate the people that wanted to travel and make it a safe environment. And so what we did was we created our Travel with Confidence promise. And we started from the very beginning, where we are carefully selecting hotels. We're making sure that they're on board with this. We moved to smaller groups. We are providing some materials, PPE materials. And your concierge, and I think this is really important for many of you to understand, that you don't have to worry about nudging your fellow traveler to say, hey, why aren't you wearing your mask? Or, please keep your distance from me. Because our concierges are trained in all of this, and they are serious and taking it serious, and they will monitor so that you don't have to. Because I think that's one of the things that's uncomfortable, right? We worry about how is everybody else going to behave, and do I have to be the one that keeps everybody in line? No, your concierge will do that. And finally, to back it all up for all of us, is if you do travel with us right now, and we're not going globally across the world, we're doing some domestic vacations in the USA, and we're doing a little bit of Mexico, a little Caribbean for now, and we have lots of vacations available for the future, but we're asking our members to sign a commitment so that everybody is on the same page. We don't want any renegade travelers on our vacations who are not going to respect the kind of wishes and desires to be safe with the rest of the group. So that's the big picture of what we're doing. Everybody on the team is involved. We got together in August. We decided that in order for us to start traveling, we definitely were going to have to make some promises to our members. And so that's a commitment from all of us. We're all involved. There isn't anybody on the team who doesn't care about your well-being. We talked about the commitment. So before you depart, you'll get an email from us, and we ask you to just sign off that you will comply or abide or adhere to, I call them the big three: wearing the mask whenever we're in a confined space, keeping 6 feet, and using the sanitation materials that we give you or that the local providers are giving to us. For example, our drivers are wearing masks on the bus, and they're going to have sanitizer before you get on the bus every single time. So our concierge will be watching, making sure that everybody's abiding by that. And privately, if somebody isn't, take you to the side and give you, a little bit of a pep talk. So in the worst case scenario, if somebody really does not participate along these lines, we'll remove them from the program. So I think that's important for you to know. So A, if you're that guy, don't come with us. B, if you want to be safe, you need to know that we are going to take it to that level if somebody doesn't practice safe protocols. Okay.
What do they do at the meals? Do they like have tables of 4 or 6 or something
Yes,
like that?
Sam. Yes, what we're doing, so we're trying to do 6 feet. Instead of doing, like in the old days, we might, I remember asking for big round tables of 8. We'd put 8 people, and that was my favorite. But now we're pretty much putting 3 people at a table that might accommodate 6, so they can spread out. And we're asking you to wear the mask when you go in, and we're asking to wear the mask until you're ready to eat, to minimize that timing. Now, a lot of the restaurants we're choosing are outdoors. So you'll see some pictures here as I go of some examples of places that we have traveled with a group, and you can kind of get a sense of what we did. There's a good example. So this was our trip to Santa Barbara, California. We did a wine tasting. And we are having smaller groups. So most of our groups, I think you're going to see in the next couple of months, at least this year, I imagine, 10 to 15 people. So here was a good example. We did Santa Barbara, and we had 6 ladies, and they were at this winery, and you are able to see that they are not exactly 6 feet apart, but they're wearing their masks. And they did their tastings here, and by the way, they all went and they came back and nobody got ill. So far, we have a 100% track record on that, so that makes me happy. And I want you guys to know that that's because Vicki and our other concierges are taking it seriously. And not only are we asking our members to abide, but if we notice something, and let's say somebody in the restaurant has their mask below their nose, or Vicki, as an example, was on a cruise in Santa Barbara, and the captain had just made an announcement that everybody must wear their mask, and there were 2 people near our group and they didn't have the mask. So Vicki went and, privately reported it, and somebody from that team came and asked those 2 people to put their mask back on. So we are doing all of these things up front, and we're doing a lot of things in the background. So always to keep a safe environment. There they are now in the vineyards. The nice thing about the smaller tours is that you're getting really special experience. This was in Scottsdale, Arizona in November. And in terms of the safe protocol, when I say that the whole team is involved, from airline reservations, we're reading articles like crazy. Every day I get 2 or 3 articles from travel organizations. They're keeping us up to date. If you're going to travel, which airline is best? Right now, for example, we know that Delta is still holding out that middle seat. So we're recommending them whenever possible. And there are a couple of other carriers that are taking some precautions. I know that today all of the airlines are mandating that you wear the mask, and those flight attendants will ask you to put it over your nose if you're not. So we had a flight attendant on one of our events recently, and she was telling us about that experience on Delta. And she said most of the passengers are pretty compliant. On transportation, yes, no question?
Now they have the federal mandate on any, I guess, federal transportation. You have to wear a mask.
Right.
You got it, Renee. That's right. That's why I said as of today, this is a new mandate. So that's great, because that helps back up the people that are trying to safeguard. That's the hard part, because there are some people out there that just don't think they need to do it, and that's okay. That's their perspective, but it's much easier for the rest of us when the authority is that they must comply. So that makes it easier. On our tours and our excursions, we're separating whenever possible. And also on cruises, that's a whole big open space right now. So I won't talk about that too much, because those cruises are still not in the water. But we will follow up we'll do these once a month, this presentation, so that you guys are able to stay up to date. So I'm going to show you some pictures. A picture's worth 1,000 words. Here's an example of our vehicle in Santa Barbara. So you're able to see while we're on the bus, everybody's wearing their mask. And one of the things we're doing on the tours is we're asking for the itinerary to break up somewhat. So we're not on the bus for 3 hours like this. We're trying to break it up with no more than 30 minutes at a time. And then our members are able to get off and get a breather, get off the bus, take a break, and separate, take a mask off, and so on. So there are times where it's not exactly possible for the 30 minutes or the 30 minutes, but that is what we're trying to do. So as you can see here on the left, the bus driver has a sanitizer. VJ was about to get on board. And so there's a lot going on here, but we are dedicated to it.
Hey, Tammy, I have a question about the first cruise, the Epic. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Okay, it says that a designated person, if there isn't 20 people, there won't be a concierge.
You know what, Deb? We have to change that because we are now dedicating a concierge with 10 across the board. We actually,
That's what I thought.
so fortunate that before COVID, it was December of 19, our team had our annual meeting. And based on feedback from our members and surveys, we were hearing that they were disappointed if we didn't have a tour leader. And so I'm sure everybody can imagine the financial reasons for that, but
yeah,
it's never worked out that great. And so we decided to commit to a concierge at 10. And then of course, COVID hit. So we feel super ready for this. And, you know,
I remember that vividly. I was hoping it was a typo or not a.
Yeah, that's a remnant. So we didn't update that one. But
Yeah.
for example, as you see in Santa Barbara, we had 6.
Yeah.
So we'll see, and I'll talk about some of the other upcoming trips that are here. But you can see also there's a bus. This is our left-hand side. This was our tour bus. This is from Scottsdale, Arizona. And again, lots of separation whenever possible and lesser time on the bus so that everybody has a chance to enjoy. So we want it, okay, we're wearing a mask for a little bit, but it's not a killer.
Wonderful.
So here's the other part of the equation is that we are finding hoteliers, and of course almost everybody is getting on board because they want business, they want people to come to their places. So they are taking care. As you can see here, they have the masks, the distancing, and limited occupancy. The staff is wearing their masks. They got hand sanitizers. All the hotels now have these plexiglass partitions in front of the check-in. There's a lot more effort toward touchless check-in and things like that. So everybody's making great strides toward all of these ways to keep everybody safe. So this was in September. So there's a lot more effort today than there ever was back then. So you can see some more precautions. The girls are getting ready to go on their trip in the morning, but you know what? Look, it's a beautiful day and they're enjoying, and why not? I mean, the opposite end is sitting at home.
Right.
So Sam asked about dining, food and beverage. This is an area that, you know, we struggled with, but we are talking to the restaurateurs before we bring our group, and we are saying that if you want us to come, you have to make sure that we can separate. So again, previously, let's say we brought 15 to 20 people in, we would ask for large tables of 8 to 10, not square, round. That's my favorite for socializing. There's nothing worse than a 20-foot table in a square and trying to put a bunch of people there, and you're stuck at the end with somebody who can't hear you, right? So we like a big round table, but now we have to safeguard that. So if we have, let's say we have 12 people, we would really probably have 4 tables, and we would have 4 near each other so that you'd be near each other, but a smaller group at the table. So some of the things we're doing at dessert time, we'll switch. So this was something years ago that I used to do. We would have, how I got started in the singles travel business, I was doing these tours for a vacation club in Chicago. And they used to have, I forget what they call them, but the dinners where you would change tables each course. right? So you get to meet more people. So we're just going back into some of the things that we did way back when. And we're changing at dessert, so you gotta get a chance. But again, with a group of 10 to 12, you're going to meet everybody. So it's not a big deal, right? So that's how we're doing dining. This is a beautiful spot at our hotel in Scottsdale, Arizona. We're going to do this trip again in November of this year because it was so beautiful for us. And so you can see they're separated, their masks are down, but they're within 6 feet of each other. They're 6 feet or more and they're outdoors. So they chose that, and we felt that that was okay because it was outside of the fire pit. What does that look like? Beautiful, guys?
Mhm.
Here's another picture of the ladies, you know, kind of ordering lunch, and again, wearing their masks until they eat. So where to next? Those are I wanted to give you some visuals of how we're doing it. Does anybody have any questions so far?
No.
Well, but when we go to restaurants here, when people sit down at the table, basically they take their mask off.
Sure,
And
Sam.
they're not putting their mask on and off, you know, to take a sip or a bite and then put it back on.
No, not while you're eating, but what we're asking is to wear your mask until you eat. Because the thing about the COVID, because it's airborne, right?
No, that makes sense. It's just different than what they're doing here. But
right. Well, sometimes you know what happens? People go to a restaurant and they might be in a family or they might be in a group of friends that have already agreed to some level of quarantining. So
yeah, they sit closer together. They sit closer together in the
they
restaurants.
know each other. But in our
Yeah.
case, imagine, even though we're getting to know each other here live, you're going to come from Philadelphia. Jenny's coming from North Carolina. You don't really know what she's been doing. And I mean that respectfully, Jenny. So the
That's
thing
why
is,
colleges and all these other places have so many problems. People from all over come together and share germs.
and we're strangers until we become friends. And so we have to remember, even though, and that's so difficult, that we are strangers. And so that's why with STI, we want to create the most safe environment possible so you go home healthy, because you don't know where everybody's standard of safety begins and ends. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's talk about what's coming up next. And even this slide is old as I'm looking at it. Everybody knows, and if you don't know, I'm going to share this with you. On our homepage, at the bottom of the page, or any of the pages on Singles Travel International, there's a blog. And we created a 2021 and 22 list of all of our upcoming trips. And we did that because whatever's available to book on the site is there, but we wanted everybody to be able to understand what's coming down the road, because we know that you're having to make some vacation plans for the future, and we don't want to miss out. We want to make sure that you come back with us. And so if you go to that blog page, you're going to see a full list. And I'll show maybe after I finish the presentation here tonight. But here are some of the upcoming vacations. All of these are still a go. And I wanted to bring those to your attention. We have several domestic weekends, so New Orleans and Nashville. We added a Mexico Mayan Riviera vacation on March 20th. And we have about 5 or 6 people going. And so we're gonna send Vicki with 10. And I think in the next 2 months, we will get, for 45, 50 days, I think we'll get enough people. Because I have to tell you that this week has been very exciting. A lot of members, they literally, because they said, I just got my shot, I just got my vaccine, book me on something. So they were so excited. So I'm feeling positive about that. So
Come on, Sam.
if you're thinking about doing something, Mexico will, and by the way, our package to Mexico does include the test that you're required to take before you come back into the United States. So that's included in the package. You don't have to pay for it. And they have a medical person who's going to be at the hotel to administer those 3 days before you get on your airplane. They're going to give you a receipt so you can show that to the airline before you get on the flight. Now, some of you may have to quarantine when you get home. We can't change that, but Most of us are anyway. So, and if you got banks of snow all around you, I talked to Sam today. He's like, oh, I just went out for the first time in 3 days. So snow is a natural quarantine agent.
Mhm.
So these are some of the things that we have coming up. This is a short list. I want to show you some highlights. This is Monaco. I was going to ask you to guess, but I gave it away. And these little honey guys over here on the right-hand side are race car drivers. This is for the Grand Prix, and we are going to arrive on a tall ship sailing yacht into that harbor, just like royalty. And we are going to dock in that harbor for 2 days, and everybody will have a chance to attend the Grand Prix races, the pre-trials. We're going for the pre-trials, guys, which is exciting enough. Because guess what? The prices are like 10 times more during Grand Prix, and it's the same thing. So unless you really were an aficionado and a race car driver, you want to see the end. But for those of us who are not, you get to go into the pits, you get to meet the drivers, you get to be in the excitement of Monaco during this very festive time. And if you haven't been to Monaco, like, you have to do this before you die. It's one of those places. So that's coming up, and that's going to be May of 22. So we have a little while to go. It's not on the site yet, but it's coming. Tahiti. Sam asked about that. We will have Tahiti for February 22. A lot of our members were booked and stayed on the program, and they're moving over to next year, and we should have that trip up next week. Okay, so I'm hustling to try to get that done. So that is absolutely gorgeous, and we're going to be aboard the 5-star Paul Gauguin. All your drinks are included. It's really a 5-star experience.
Is it already waitlisted?
No, but Deb, we don't have it up yet for next year. We're getting the contract from the cruise line, so I left it because I wanted people to see that we're doing it, and that was going to be the exact same week as 2021. So I left it on the website with that little notation saying, come back because we're going to reschedule this for Feb of 22.
Got it.
Okay, so great. Nina's here with us. Welcome, Nina. We have some amazing vacations, and Jenny just signed up for 3 continents today. Yay, Jenny.
Yay!
So this is Greece and Turkey, and we have 5 chances to go to Greece this year. We have 3 summer trips to the Isle of Crete, and even if you can't fit that in this year, I totally understand, but before, in your lifetime, you've got to do the Isle of Crete trip. Sam did it, a couple of you guys have done it and would vouch for it. It's a life changer, and it's a family owned business that we go to, and everybody is so kind. Here's what most people say when they are leaving Crete: I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home. They love it so much, and the lifestyle is so laid back, and it's the kind of thing where you imagine like the hustle bustle of the US and everything that we do, and you go to Crete and no one's in a hurry and it's super relaxed. So we have 3 Crete vacations, and then in July we have a Greek Islands cruise, and 2 of them are scheduled so you could do back to back if you're into longer vacations. And then we have in November 20th to the 27th, with a pre-night cruise and 1 or 2 nights in Athens. And we are going to do Greece, Turkey, Israel, and Egypt. Here's the cool part. You're going to get to do the pyramids without all the complications of going into Egypt. So we come in the morning, our buses pick us up with security, we go over to the I think I have a picture. Let me see. I don't have a picture. I'm going to put that in next time. So you see the pyramids of Giza, you get to take your picture, all your Instagram shots and everything, and you learn a ton that day, and then we leave and we bring you back on the ship. So you get to limit the exposure. Maybe some of you don't understand, but the water's kind of a challenge there. The food, 50% of people who go to Egypt do get sick. So with this trip, you're on our cruise ship. which is celestial, and you only spend the day. And so we send you with water and we send you with protection. And so you're in and out and you get to do everything that you need to do and then come back to the beautiful ship.
Tammy, are we going to see the Sphinx? Is it that part of Egypt or?
You're not going to see the Sphinx.
No, you see the Sphinx. The Sphinx is near the Great Pyramid.
You do?
Well,
Okay.
The Sphinx, it was all under scaffolding, so.
Thank you, Sam. So Sam did the trip last March. Thank you. Stand
Yeah,
correct.
I would recommend all three of those trips. I've been on all three of those Greek trips, and the three continent was especially good. And so was they were all not very, very nice.
Okay, cool. Well, I was there years and years ago, so I'm going back.
Great. Well, we love having it, Jen. And thanks for that endorsement, Sam. Okay, and thanks for the correction. I wasn't on that one, so I didn't know that. So that's exciting.
Well, that's the one we all were. That was the last cruise.
Oh,
That's right. The last cruise that we did in Europe as a company, we had 3 actually, and one of them was that cruise. And that was, you guys might remember that it was on the 14th of March, I think, and the president closed the country. I woke up to, and listen, this was only the first of who even knew 1,000 announcements that were going to freak me out in the next 10 months, right? But I woke up to the president closed the country, and I'm like, oh my God, Vicky's in Greece with 40 people. And I'm going to compliment our travelers because I have to say that everybody took it in stride. And they were very mature about it, and everybody kind of figured out how they were going to get home. But they were, again, see, nobody ever wants to leave Greece. They're like, I could just stay in Greece.
And nobody got sick. One person left in sort of the middle of the cruise. She had to go home for some reason, but all the other people survived. No problems.
All right.
Right.
The crew wasn't so lucky. They spent the next 3 months quarantined on the ship in Cyprus or someplace.
Oh, wow.
They sure did, and I'm really proud of our team because we had, I was on a Star Clipper, which is one of the ships here. I had no incident. I was back in no time with June. Vicky was in Greece, and Sylvia rather, was on another cruise that got diverted, and they had to spend 3 extra days, and they went to a different port. And the reviews back from the performance were very high for our team because, you know, they were experiencing something totally new, uncharted waters, if you will, and they were caring and attentive to the very end to the members. So that's something to really understand about Singles Travel International is that in order to be on this team, you have to have a loving heart. We can train you on lost luggage and all kinds of functional things, but that loving heart is something that has to come with the person on board. And so our culture and our values play a big part in who gets to be on the team. So you'll know that you're going to be in great hands with us when you're on a trip.
Tammy, I didn't see any of the Portugal trips. Are those off now?
No, those are a go, Sam. So I don't have pictures here, and I'm going to have to add those. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of that blog page in a minute. Just a reminder, I know that you signed on today, but stay connected. So one of the things that we heard, I hear time after time after time, we have a wonderful time on a vacation. You make a bunch of new friends. It's magical. There's this surge of like great energy. And then we come home, and even though we connect with Facebook and stuff, that camaraderie and that energy kind of dwindles. And so Single Life Today was created out of COVID, but we dream that this will be a continued part of Singles Travel International and what we offer travelers who are single above and beyond everything else that we do on the trip. So before the trip, we'll start to do some of these Zoom meetings so that we can get to know each other. After the trip, we'll have picture parties, and we're going to be continuing to stay connected through our weekly events. So if you guys love this, please make it your company, make it your place to be. Give us your feedback. Tell us what kinds of things you want to see on Single Life Today. We're bringing experts and coaches in, and we I can't imagine everything that might be important to you, but if you guys have a certain professional or an area of life that you'd like to hear from an expert on, let us know, because we are constantly bringing them in to share. In the 50 plus age range, we have different needs and wants and desires than younger people who are single, right? We're different. So please attend, please enjoy it. 75% of our events are free. Some of them have a cost associated, and let me tell you why, because it's barely a cost. With our Single Life Today and Singles Travel International premium membership, you can do that on an annual basis. You can do that on a lifetime basis. And it's almost a guarantee that once you become a premium member, first of all, you get everything on Single Life Today. I'm going to go off for a second. I'm going to go over to the Single Life Today website and show you guys a little bit of that. Everything that's coming down the pike this week. And to show you.
Tammy, while you're searching for that, let me tell everybody I saved, what was it, $880 today?
Yeah, that's correct. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
So what I'm about to say what you get in the travel savings. So Single Life Today, you have everything that's here as a premium member in terms of events. So tonight was free. New member orientation, travel talk every Tuesday. Here's a meditation next Wednesday. Valentine's mixology, happy hours, lots of free events. So I'm not trying to, twist you out of your hard-earned money, because some of us are suffering right now, and we want you to be able to connect even if you can't afford it. But if you're ready to travel and you're really going to be traveling, then you get to add our premium events, which are live interactive guided tours. So for example, tomorrow night, we're going to Australia. This guy, Matt, is going to be in the mountains in Australia with his phone. You can see it right there. He's got a little, he probably has a little gimbaled camera. Let me bring this up if I can. And he's going to be taking 90 minutes going through the mountains. There you see Matt. And you're going to be like tonight on Zoom. And so let's say he's talking about something about the history and where he's at. And you say, hey, Matt, blah, blah, blah. What's that? Or what did we do? Oh my God, is that a kangaroo? And then he'll say, yes, Renee, that's a kangaroo. And by the way, she's with a baby, and he'll tell you about it. And so it's just like being there, only we're not there. So it's the next best thing. And as a premium member, you get access to all of these. Then in addition, you're always going to get travel discounts. So I'm going to go to the membership plan page here. Not trying to do the big pitch, but if you do the annual, it's $397. We do have a promo going on for lifetime right now. And with that, sorry, I didn't mean to scroll, but you get solo travel discounts. So that means, number one, when a new trip comes out and we have solo travel discounts, they're always limited. But as a premium member, you're going to get a text and an email, and it's going to say, hey, a new deal just came out. Go check it out. Be the first. And by the way, those deals are not going to be offered to anyone who's not premium. You see, previously, we would put it up on the website, and it would be gone in 24 hours. So a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, I didn't even see it, right? So now we have this great way to deliver to you guys these lower prices for your own accommodations by being a member. So you could do $397 a year, or you can do lifetime for $697. If you're interested, let me know. And Jenny's right. Today she saved $880 on her Mediterranean 3 continents. So she already paid for her lifetime membership. Deb saved $270 on Mexico, and it goes on and on. So let me quickly show you where you see that. Let me go over to the Single Life Today. This is going to take a minute. You get access to a secret page, with all of the deals. So you're able to bookmark that and go ahead and go shopping anytime that you'd like. I know this is my desktop. Sorry, I'm giving you guys a heart attack here, but I'm gonna go to the Singles Travel International site. So there's a secret page that you have access to, and when you become premium, you get an email and it tells you how to log in. But let's say, for example, let's do the Utah trip because I know that there's a deal on that. So that one, now, once it's announced, and as a premium member, you get that pre-information, so you get to go in first. We also list it on the page. So here in the deals section, it does say premium members pay no more for their own room. So right there, there's a $400 savings. If you did an annual membership, you paid for it. Let me go to the Book Now page and show you where that shows up. So right here, it says premium members save $400, your own room, no extra fee. So instead of $39.59, you'll pay $35.59. And so now you have a secret page that you can bookmark and access all the time. Anytime there's something new, you'll get the notification and then it'll be on the page. So if you're not interested in one of the deals, that's fine, but you can always go to the page and see what's happening. So that is the best way for you to save on travel, do virtual travel for now, because some of us are not comfortable to go just quite yet. And we understand that. And so we want you to be able to check out some new places. So like Pam tonight, she's retiring in a few more years. Maybe you want to check out some places, Pam, and see like where is it cool to go to? Maybe I want to check out, we went to Bhutan, we did Morocco, we did a lot of really cool places, and maybe, you know, this is a great way for you to see these places before you even decide to go. And I imagine that we're going to eventually have some amazing other activities here on Single Life Today, like vacation planning events, and I just see our members becoming more and more involved and becoming a part of the community and the planning, and there's just so much possibility. So that's it for me. I'm open for questions now if you guys have some, and I just want to thank you for joining.